All right, shalom, shalom. It's another GMS lesson come back at you. Before I do get to this lesson, I want to start by giving honor, glory, and praises to the Heavenly Father, His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Raka HaKodash. Next up, double honors to my apostles and elders, great millstone, who taught me the 100% truth of the Bible and who rule well. Peace, love, salutations to all the brothers across the four corners of the earth. Pushing this truth and all diligence and sincerity. I was able to put together a Lord with an edifying lesson, right? As you can see, the title, Israel is scattered, right? And, Israel being scattered, it's, important. Yes, we teach who the true ethnic Jews are, the true biblical Hebrew Israelites are, being you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? And that's for truth's sake, right? Bringing it out. And, but we also understand that what? Yes, the seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? That is important. That is everything. Salvation is for Israel, right? And, these scriptures, wisdom, knowledge, understanding is for Israel, but we also understand that what? Israel is not going to look, that we're not all going to look the part, right? You're going to have some of us that look like these heathens, so-called Asians, so-called Africans, and things such like that, right? It's not all going to boil down to, skin color. So I'm going to just jump right into it, right? This is Deuteronomy 28:64, and it reads, "And the Lord shall scatter thee among all the people." Right, that's simple. As a matter of fact, let me go to verse 15 real quick, because this is a part of it. This is Deuteronomy 28:15. "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." Right, so now we're going to jump all the way back down to verse 64. So when you go all the way from verse 15 all the way down to verse 68, right, because there's four more verses after 64 to end the chapter. What? Those are all the curses that were before our people, right? And they're assigned to let us know, you know, who are the Israelites, the true Israelites today, because we were discontinued from our heritage, right? Which that is going to fall into more as I read on to this. It reads on, "From one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone." So even those of us who look the part as Israelites, because what? We have been stripped of our nationality, our heritage, our identity, and put on subjection under our heathens. From what? For falling away from the ways of our power. And how about Shem Yahushua? The Lord, you know what? He gave us into the heathens. They said, "You want to be like them? You want to act like them? Well, go ahead." But now we don't even know who we are, right? So we just we were literally heathens before the Lord gave us His word back, of course, and but what? We were literally living as the heathens, worshiping their idols, worshiping their gods, right? Worshiping gods neither our fathers nor we knew, right? So even wood and stone. That's why it reads that, and you got people with crosses on their neck, right? Literal wood on their neck. They worship the wood more than they worship, the man himself, Lord Yahweh himself, you know, and and the stone, right? Cobblestone. They into Islam all heavy, so our people are into all these other ideologies and religions. Everything outside of worshiping the true and only living power, Yahweh Shema Shah, which for us and only that. So let's jump back, right, and go back. This is Tobit chapter 13, verse 2. "For he do scourge and have mercy," right? A scourge is a whipping, right? A punishment, right? That has before fell our people, right? Uh, um, well, a scourge is a whipping and a punishment, and what, like we just read, Deuteronomy 28:15, 15 on down to 68, all the punishments, all the curses that befell our people, right? "And have mercy, and leadeth down to hell, and bringeth up again. Neither is there any that can avoid his hands." So what? It was inevitable. It was inevitable, Right? It was prophecy that this would happen to our people, right? That we'd be scattered across the four corners of the earth amongst all nations on the face of the earth, right? Because first and foremost, it was already written, and right, and the Lord already knew it was going to happen. So it was written, and now it's here for us to go back and read and learn from it, and to know that okay, we are these people because we are the only ones who these curses apply to, and that's why we have that understanding, right? This is Tobit 13:3. Confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel. Right? Confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel. Right? So when you see men out there in the highways and byways confessing this truth, confessing this word, best believe that they are Israelites, no matter what color, right, or shade, right? They're Israelites. If they truly wholeheartedly believe and sincerely believe in the Lord, right, they're Israelites. It reads, for he has scattered us among them. So we preach this word. We go into the chief place of concourse. We go out to the highways and byways, right? Where there's a lot of buying and selling, where you see in many walks of life, different walks of life. Why? Because the Lord have scattered us among them. You can't just go to the hoods and try to talk to these niggas and these so-called blacks, Latinos and Native Americans. Can't go to the reservations. Can't just go to the slums, right? And talk to these Hispanics. No, you have to go to the chief place of conquerors. You have to go to where all walks of life are, because guess what? Our people are amongst them all, right? This is James 1:1. James, a servant of the Most High and of the Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach, right? So, right, this is a man of the Lord right here, right? And this is the beginning verse in his epistle, in his letter. Let's see who he was writing to. To the tribes, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Greeting, right? To the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, right? Greetings, because what? He understood what? That the men of the it's like that the Lord's people were scattered everywhere, right? Let's go to Jeremiah 29:14. And I will be found of you, saith the Lord, and I will turn away your captivity, and I will gather you from all nations and from all the places whither I have driven you, saith the Lord, and I will bring you again into the place whence I caused you to be carried away captive. Right? So this is a future prophecy, right? That we just read in Tobit 13:2 that what? For he doeth scourgeth and have mercy, he leadeth down to hell and bring it up again, right? So same way the Lord bring us down, right, to this lower state, because that's what hell means, right? The same way the Lord put us under subjection of the heathens, put us in captivity, put us in hardcore slavery, right? The same way he did that, he's going to bring us up again, and it's going to start off by what? Him pulling us, he gathering us, and I will gather you from all the nations and from all the places whither I have driven you, saith the Lord. And first and foremost, how is that? By this word, right? Being pushed and preached, right? Throughout the four corners of the earth on the unicorn, right? The internet and the men going out to the highways and byways, starting off with the apostles, elders, great millstone, and all the sincere brothers on down, right? So this is a future prophecy that the Lord is going to gather us all together, right, and bring you again into the place whence I caused you to be carried away captive, which is the land of Israel, the kingdom of heaven, right, which is to come. This is Matthew chapter 10, verse 5. It reads, these 12 Yahweh sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles. Right. So these 12, we're talking about the 12 disciples. Disciples later turned apostles, right? So the men of the Lord, the apostles, right? Who wrote the gospels, right? Right. This is what the Lord sent them to do, right? Our whole gospel, the New Testament, all that we have and that we hold dear to, right? And everybody want to latch on to it, but what did the Lord send his 12 disciples to do? It reads, and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans, enter ye not, right? Don't go in the ways of these natural heathens, right? Verse 6, but rather go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, right? Because the lost sheep are those that were scattered abroad, those who were living, right? As heathen, whether they knew it or not, right? And then those who were scattered amongst the heathen, who have been living amongst the heathen for generations upon generations, right? Having to hear this word, right? The lost sheep of the nation of Israel. right? It reads on, verse 7, as you go, preach saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So what? We talking about the kingdom of heaven, we talking about salvation and deliverance, right? That pertains to who? The lost sheep of the house of Israel, right? Those that were scattered, right? So we have to have that understanding that not only, are we going to see, the brown faces, the so-called Negroes, Latino Americans, right? But we're going to see Israelites coming into this thing, coming to believe in all shades and colors, man, right? Because Israel was scattered. So with that, I'm going to close out, giving peace and love to the elect. Shalom.